Welcome to Sports Talk Coast to Coast. Didn't y'all know? It's finally over. It's finally over. Yep. And what I'm talking about is OJ's son. He had picked the Super Bowl winner 3 years in a goddamn row. It's over, OJ. It's over. You lose. I had to get that out. I've been waiting all week to do that shit.
Face it, OJ. You're still just second best.
Let me quit messing with OJ because he was right 3 years in a damn row, and I was getting tired of his ass. All right, let's talk about this NBA first. Get this bull crap out the way, because we know that's Tony's favorite sport.
Oh yeah.
All right, Quell, what you got for us?
Blazer Simmons is out, the 23-year-old that's making a splash. He's out there. Kevin Love was let go by the Cavaliers.
Really? I hadn't heard his name in a couple years anyway, so I mean, I'm not surprised.
He's looking to go. I mean, people thinking he's going to go to the Lakers, but looks like he might. Golden State might be looking to get him. Did
Cleveland eat any money? Because I know he had a pretty big contract from when LeBron was there, right? Did they buy him out or did they just let him go?
I believe they bought him out. The Heat is talking about getting Beverly and Westbrook, and there's a lot of rumors going on that people are going to finna get a lot of people or whatever. But at the same time, he hasn't been bought out yet, so hasn't.
Yeah. How you feel about that, OJ? You think that'd be a good fit down in Miami? Beverly and Westbrook going down there with the Butler and the boys? I guess not.
No, that's not good. That's not a good fit for us. We need scores because what's his name hurt right now? Charlie Hero. Them two ain't. I mean, let's pick on offense now because they're older. You know.
Well, Beverly never was an offensive threat, though. So he was mainly used for defense on teams that he was on.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Now he's a liability on both. So, same with Westbrook. Why would they do that? We need people we can count on. We already got Kyle Lowry. You know.
That dude almost 40. Right, he can't stay healthy.
Dependable shooters is what we need. Somebody to help Jimmy Butler out.
Well, that's one thing Westbrook will do. Well, let me rephrase. That's one thing Westbrook did do. I don't know what he's been doing the last couple of years. All right. Y'all know what that sound means. That means it's time to talk about the man's game. OJ, would you say... Well, first of all, let's talk about the game. And we'll get to some other stuff in a minute. All right, so OJ, if Jalen Hurts was playing anybody else, I'd have been rooting for him. But, I've been a Patrick Mahomes fan since he was in Texas anyway, so... And Andy Reid, he's a feel-good story in any day of the week. Took two different teams to the Super Bowl, been to the playoffs X amount of times, won a few, been in there a few times, but whatever. But do you think that the fumble heard around the world is the only thing that lost Philadelphia that game?
Philly made a few mistakes, but you see, Jalen atoned for that, though. They were up by 10 at halftime. The defense let them down. I mean, kudos to the offensive line. They didn't allow a sack, and that was the difference in the game. The defense was effective. They were getting 3 and outs, but they wasn't putting Patrick Mahomes on his back. And that's what they needed to do. I mean, they were keeping the ball away, but if they would have got to him a few more times, then that was the difference in the game, pretty much.
I'm glad. That's why I came to you first, because I wanted to see if you was going to admit it. Because you've been talking about this defense all playoff long. Nobody can touch them. They the best defense, or not the best, but their defense is gonna win them this. But essentially, you just said the defense lost it for them because they couldn't, keep Kansas City off the field, right?
Well, basically that's what happened in the second half. In the first half, they were doing their job, but every time Mahomes touched the ball, they scored in the second half.
So basically, you're saying that the Philadelphia Eagles defense went in the locker room and watched the Atlanta Falcons against Tom Brady and figured out that they didn't need to do anything else in the second half.
Yeah. And that's what happens. I mean, they had the right game plan to run the ball and keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. They just couldn't sustain that effort.
Would you say that Jalen Hurts outperformed Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, I guess, but it's about winning.
That is the bottom line.
Didn't have to do no more.
Yeah.
We that's why it'd be like, is Brady to go? People be saying yeah, but he ain't done nearly as much as other quarterbacks in Super Bowl. Well, maybe in a Super Bowl, but in regular season and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes when you win by a field goal on 3 out of 7 of your Super Bowls, then it's whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, Patrick Mahomes at least got the MVP, so it is what it is. You outperform, but you gotta seal the deal. That's why if you ain't in the playoffs, you can't win the MVP award in basketball. Impossible.
Right.
I don't know if you winning in football if you ain't got a winning record. I don't think I've seen a guy.
I mean, because Tony, that receiver, the Kadarius Toney, he could have easily been the MVP. I mean, he had that punt return and he scored a touchdown. So he could have easily been the touchdown or the MVP. But of course, they're going to give it to the quarterback. I'm not saying Mahomes didn't deserve it because he did bring them boys back from 10 down. And I don't know if y'all saw it, but Philadelphia had a good game plan and they executed it well. The problem is Patrick Mahomes. Every time he touched the ball, he scored because the time of possession was 36-24. 36 minutes to 24, and y'all still lost. And Kansas City don't have no superstar receivers. They ain't got no blazers, but they do have a quarterback who learned how to make sure he gets everybody involved and not keying on just one person. Even though Travis Kelce's a beast, and there's not really nobody in NFL that can guard him. I mean, it really ain't. But all right, Tony. I know we talked about this, but we want to let the people hear. Should the ref have swallowed his whistle on that holding call?
I said no. He should not have held his whistle because when it's that blatant, when you grab the man and you turn his direction, you change his direction of play. I mean, that's all day long textbook flag, and you got to call it. And the way I see it is if this had happened. I know Skip Bayless was saying from the junk, whatever. If this had happened to Dallas, and it was the last play. It was the defining play of the game. He, along with Cowboy Nation, would have been all in arms if the whistle wasn't blown. And I said, you call it one way, you call it the other way, and let's play ball. And that was it. Yeah. They have been playing solid defense. That he just got shook. He went for the fake, and that's why he grabbed. I mean, that's what defenders do. Sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't. He got caught.
OJ, you don't think that the moment had anything to do with why people think he should have swallowed his whistle?
When they called the holding call, I mean, it was an obvious call, so they had to call it. But it's just that the timing was not as inopportune because they still had time enough to go down there. I mean, once they scored, they had time to go and make another score for themselves and win the game. But the penalty was on them. Kansas City did what all good teams do. They just killed the clock and win again.
Yep, and I know you said that the ref should have threw the flag, and I think he should have too. I don't think it matters when it is, whether it's 2 minutes left to go in the game or if it's in the first quarter. A penalty is a penalty is a penalty. But I'm gonna say what Shannon Sharp told Skip Bayless because he was crying about it. He said if they don't call that penalty, then they shouldn't have called offsides on Kansas City when Tom Brady threw that pick, and they shouldn't. And then the Kansas City gets the ball back, and they don't go to the Super Bowl. Kansas City does. So if you're gonna call one, you got to call them all. Forget all that. Period.
Yep. Totally. Yeah.
And Quell, how smart was that receiver? I don't remember which one it was, but remember when Mahomes threw him that slant and he saw that Philadelphia was about to let him score so they would have time on the clock? That fool slid down inbounds before he scored to make them touch him. Man, that was smart.
Yeah.
That was smart. That was probably the play of the game for me. That was even bigger than the fumble return for a touchdown, because if you score and then they go down and and they have the ball, they're gonna have over 2 minutes to go. But instead, they slid down and ultimately that holding penalty gets called and they're able to run out the clock and the game is over. So yeah, that to me that was the play of the game. That's good coaching. The ball bounced the Kansas City's way. But OJ, will you please tell all your sports analysts to quit insulting my 85 Bears, talking about that Philadelphia defense is as good as they was. They was good, but they wasn't even close. Come on now. You got to admit that.
Defensive line was that good. The defense as a whole was not. I mean, they gave up over 100 yards rushing in the second half. So, that's not historic. 85 Bears, you couldn't run on them. You know what I'm saying? And they was getting to the quarterback.
But all in all, it was a good game. There was some controversy. Again, if Jalen Hurts is playing anybody else, I'm rooting for him. But I've been a Chiefs fan since forever. Since Andy Reid got there, pretty much. I even rooted for him when they had Alex Smith, even though I knew he wasn't taking him nowhere. But Tony, go ahead.
No, there's a one little thing of note here with the 85 Bears. I had to look it up. I couldn't remember, but check it out. They allowed 7 rushing yards in the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, they allowed 7, which was the fewest rushing yards ever allowed.
7 yards? Some people get that on one run.
Mm-hmm. That's why they were classified as one of the best defenses ever. It was like OJ said, it was hard to run on them. But yeah, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Wow.
So Tony, do you think? I mean, because we discussed it in the chat, but of course the people don't see our chats, and we say things on there we can't say on here anyway. But since it appears that Jalen Hurts is about to go into his last year of his contract, do you franchise tag him 2 years, or do you give him quote unquote top quarterback money?
Yeah, that's a toughie. Because here's the thing, I like Jalen Hurts, and to your point, if it had not been for Mahomes, I would have been pulling for Jalen Hurts. He plays against anybody else, I'd have been pulling for him. So it's hard because so this is 3 years in. He's about to go into his 4th. If you want to sign him now to get all the hoopla over with, all the distractions out of there. Young fella, yes, is good. I don't know, man. I might want to franchise tag him because don't you have more options if you franchise? Well, you definitely get more money per year, but it's only for 1 year, and you got to turn around and do it for another year. Remember, that's how the Vikings did. That's how Kirk Cousins got the Vikings. They franchise tagged him, I think, 3 years in a row, wasn't it, Quell? Finally, they said, okay, let's just give him the money because he's proven himself, right? Ain't that what the Vikings did?
Washington.
Oh, Washington did though. Okay.
Washington did that, and they didn't give him the money. They let him go, and the Vikings picked him up and gave him a fully guaranteed contract. See what I'm talking about?
I'm with you, Quell. Vikings be doing some goofy stuff, man. I think I franchise tag him, man, to give yourself some options. I mean, it gives the young fella some bread, and he can go out there and continue, his experience and his road to stardom, and probably going back to the Super Bowl. This path to the Super Bowl. So I franchise tag.
if AJ Brown's not on that team, does Jalen Hurts do as well?
Um, that's a good question, but I think the answer to that would be yes because he put in the work, regardless of whoever the ace receiver is going to be. If it would have just been Devontae Smith in that role, I think he still would have accomplished the same thing that he was able to accomplish this year.
All right, Quell. You giving the money or you franchise tag him?
Give him the money. What you talking about? He a black man. Pay him. Pay that man. If you gonna pay Lamar Jackson, if you ain't, first off, I said pay Lamar Jackson. So if this dude made it all the way to the Super Bowl, you think I ain't gonna say pay this man? He made it to the Super Bowl regardless of the schedule, and he did okay in the Super Bowl. He did pretty good. Pay that man and shut up, Philadelphia. Y'all paid Carson Wentz. Remember that.
Oh,
remember y'all played Wentz. After another quarterback got to the Super Bowl, y'all still paid Wentz. Remember that. Remember that.
I remember that.
That's a good point.
Now, what me and OJ were talking about, we were talking about the Dak Prescott situation. But unfortunately for Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts has done more than he has. He not only did he win his first playoff game, he took him to the Super Bowl. So you can't really. I mean, Tony, is Jalen Hurts a better quarterback than Dak Prescott? I mean, let me ask you. Let me point it out to you. A lot of sports analysts, especially OJ's boy Calvin Cowherd on FS1, says that Jalen Hurts had a great game on the big stage, but how do we know he can do this consistently, especially when he didn't win that game? Now you can answer. I just wanted to give you a little food for thought there.
Well, I look at it. I'll answer it this way. I look at the body of play for the player. Yeah, time in the seat does account for something, but let's just look at it. All right. So Dallas has had Prescott at the helm for what?
8 years?
5 years? 6 years? 6 years? Oh, it's 8 years? God,
yeah, it's been 8 years. He's almost 30.
Yeah, okay. So we know what Dak has. We know what he's done, his whole body of work. Not trying to put him down or anything, but we see what the young fella has done in his time and how he's managed the game and done with what he had. What he's, so I'm sitting there thinking, this is gonna sound terrible, especially as a Cowboy fan, boy. But I gotta tell you, man, I don't know. I'm liking. I think Hurts beats him out by a little bit. I think he beats him out. He didn't implode at all since he's been there. He's proven that he's gotten better since he's been in the league, and he's only been in 3 years. He's gotten better, and I'm not saying Dak hasn't, but they're two different quarterbacks. I know. I guess I got to give Hurts a slight edge in that one. Slight edge.
Well, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I'm a big fan of the quote-unquote minority quarterback. I'm not going to say black because we got other ones that are different nationalities, and I don't want to get no hate mail like Tony. But I don't even think it's close. Because Dak, like you said, he's had twice as much time to prove himself, and to his credit, or to be fair, he's had a limited team around him, with Zeke Elliott being a bust after he signed that contract. His best receiver going to Cleveland, Gallup and Lamb dropping passes, and then at sometimes the offensive line being hurt. But all that being said, if you're a good quarterback, aka athlete, which Jalen Hurts is, he ain't Michael Vick, but he's Michael Vick-ish. He's on that way to being probably great like Michael Vick. And Dak, he's not a scrambler, but his accuracy really needs some work. And I think he has a big problem on taking responsibility when he makes mistakes. So and with Jalen Hurts, I think he's beyond Dak with that. I don't think it's close. Yeah. What do you think, Quail?
I think it goes to coaching because they fired that coach This is Dak's second coach. I think that coach has done pretty good to a degree. So that's why I give it, an even. I give it an even because Jalen got to keep winning.
That is true.
He got to keep going. We got to see how this is going to be. Was this a fluke year because of the schedule?
I was just about to say that.
All of this stuff happened in the playoffs.
Yep.
Or is it for real?
Yep. We got to see what happens next year. I'll give Dak the benefit of the doubt. I said before it's not even close. It's close, but Jalen still wins just because of his leadership. Because you say that all the time, Quay. You got to have leadership. Jalen has leadership. Dak shows none.
Mm-hmm.
Could you agree with that one, Tony?
Yeah, I would say this. That's why I said that it's a slight hedge for Hurts over our boy Prescott, because you're right. It boils down to leadership, and when you see that team and how he's commanded his team as a leader, as a quarterback, they played for him. And for whatever reason, there's a lot of different reasons you've already cited with Dallas, what's going down there in Dallas, the coaches, the players dropping balls and all that. Hurts is shown as a young fellow to still be able to pull his team together and still work toward that goal. That's why I gave him a slight edge over Dak. Dak's still a good quarterback, but
And to Quell's point, I think coaching does play a big part in it. I don't know if McCarthy's the dude. It doesn't look like he's going anywhere, but we'll see what happens this year. So, Patrick Mahomes has been to 3 Super Bowls, only won 2. He's done some unbelievable things. I mean, with being in 5 AFC championships, OJ. But a lot of people, including your boy Stephen A. Smith, says that in his young career, Patrick Mahomes is right up there, right behind Joe Montana and Tom Brady. What you think, OJ? Because you know how I feel about that. I love Patrick Mahomes' play, but you got to prove something to me first. A couple of Super Bowls ain't going to get it done, especially when Montana got 4 and Brady got 7.
I think they're right. I mean, he's been to 5 straight AFC championships
and lost 3 of them.
He lost 3 of them, but he has 2 Super Bowl wins already,
and 2 of them was at home.
Okay, but I'm just saying, he's done a lot in 5 years. What quarterback and a great quarterback has accomplished what he's accomplished all before the age of 27?
He's actually 28. But anyways, I get your point. But I'm just saying, I'll put him above Aaron Rodgers any day of the week.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I will even go as far as to say he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Mm-hmm. But putting him in the top 5 of all time, you gotta do a little more. You gotta do a little more, because rings count. You always tell me numbers don't lie. And he only got 2 rings. Not 4, not 7, not even 3. Alright, let's move on to something else. Let's go to some off-season stuff. OJ, do you think that... I was about to say Brett Favre. Do you think that Aaron Rodgers would be a good fit playing for the Jets? Because that's the rumor.
Yeah, because you don't have the details. He would have a top 5 defense if those young guys stay on the same trajectory that they started on. You already got the offensive rookie of the year, so he's got a receiver that he can air the ball out with. Plus those other, plus they got a lot of other speed receivers too. So I think the Jets would be a good fit. I really do, for Aaron Rodgers. Plus he's never had a defense that was top 5. When he had a defense that was in the top 10, he won a Super Bowl.
And that's probably the right area for him too, being in New York City. He likes all that attention. So,
following Brett Favre. That's why you said Favre, because he played for the Jets too.
Yeah, he did. All right, Tony, I gave you some homework, and I don't even remember what it was. What was it?
The coaching positions, NFL coaching positions.
So you just told us who got Arizona got, but who did Houston hire?
Houston ended up hiring D'Amico Ryans. So the prodigal son returns, right? So he used to be a player for the Houston Texans. But D'Amico is a 49ers defensive coach. So we'll see what happens in Texas because they don't like to hang on their coaches down there.
It ain't even down there. It's down south. Listen, if you in Florida or Texas, you might as well forget about keeping a job.
Right. They don't have the best track record, so it's kind of hard to get hyped for anything that's happening down there because you just wait long enough, it'll change.
And of course, Sean Payton went to Denver.
Yep, Sean Payton went to Denver, so we'll see how that one turns out.
Well, usually when a high-profile coach, which I don't know why, but when a high-profile coach comes in like that, the owner, if they want to keep him happy, because, you know, Sean Payton, down in New Orleans, he ran the show, he was a GM and all that. They usually let them bring their own staff in, so.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
I wish the season was starting next week because I want to see what he does with that team that was so mediocre and had all those so-called good players, especially Russell Wilson, because he looked like a straight-up second-year dude last year, for real.
He did. I don't know what happened to our boy Russell.
More like a rookie. You're giving him too much credit. I said more like a rookie.
I've seen rookies look better than that, though. So.
Dang, y'all wrecking my boy. Get off Russell, man. Yeah, you had a bad. I like Russell. That's my guy.
I do too, but he just looked like a buster last year, man.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he was.
I gotta even go as far and say Kyler Murray looked better than he did last year until he got hurt.
Damn, you're taking it too far.
Well, actually, I gotta agree with Cliff. That is true. That boy was looking sorry. I mean, Kyler Murray actually win you some games and show you a splash and run around. Kyler Murray is the new Russell Wilson. That's when he has skills.
Too much, but I mean, hey.
Since we're talking about quarterbacks, Quell, why don't you give us a little more information on this rumor that's flying around that the Bears are thinking about trading Justin Fields and trading down in the draft to get a couple of different players?
No, I heard they was going to draft. They was going to keep that draft and trade y'all quarterback. You should know more. That's your quarterback. That's your guy.
Look,
why would you be stupid enough to do something very stupid like that?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it is stupid, but I know some organizations like the Vikings who've done dumber things than that. So,
I mean, you're trading your future.
We ain't got no draft picks, though.
Yeah, but you're trading.
Right.
But I don't know, Eric. That might not be the worst. I like Justin Fields in Chicago. I really do. But it's apparent that whatever coaches they've been hiring down there just doesn't fit with him. So maybe going to a new system, like OJ always says, maybe that'll help him.
Hey, are y'all going to get a new coach or y'all keeping that guy?
I think they keeping him. They probably would have fired him by now. They was going to.
Did he draft him? Was he there when he drafted?
No, that's the second coach. Ain't that right, OJ? That's the second coach he's had.
Yeah.
Nagy coaches always want to bring in their own guys.
That's right. Nagy was there when he got drafted with your boy Nick Foles, Mr. 5 Games. Rodgers goes to the Jets. I guess the Pack would be a good place for him to go, but
Green Bay gonna do that. They want to see what they got.
Jordan Love.
Yeah, they want to see what they got in Jordan Love.
They better figure it out fast because he coming up on contract.
Yep.
He was a first rounder too, so he just been sitting on that money. Like, yeah, go ahead and not play me. I'm looking at that direct deposit every 2 weeks. Yeah, make sure that money's there.
And I was dumb. Traded up to get that man, and then just reneged and went back to Rodgers.
I personally would have. I would have let Rodgers walk last year myself.
Man, I been said that. I said that 3 years ago. It's like, what he won the MVP? Okay, the Vikings will tell y'all that. Adrian Peterson won MVP that year. Next year, we should have been traded that man, but no, held on to him too long. That's what happens. You get him while you got your deck, while the stock is up on him. Sell them. Sell the stock while it's high.
Yep. That's what you got to do. Get something for him while it's worth it. Now you stuck with this big contract and you hoping the Jets pick him up or will want to trade for him or whatever. But if you do, you can unload all that capital and then maybe do something.
Speaking of getting what you can while their stock's high, another update on the coaching spot. And OJ's boys, man, Philly's got their work cut out for them next year, head coach anyway, because they lost another coach. The Sean, is it Steichen? He's the offensive coordinator. He left. He filled the Indianapolis head coaching.
Oh yeah, I did see that earlier.
Sure did.
I did see that.
Yeah. So the Phillies got to go find a defensive coordinator and an offensive coordinator.
OJ, that could play a big part in their success, right? Because that was the offensive coordinator Jalen Hurts been working with for the last 2 years, right?
Or you talking about the OC that went to Indianapolis?
Yeah. Because you always tell me it's about the system. And if that's the system he was used to and somebody comes in and wants to do something else, it could be a big adjustment that he's not ready for.
I don't think it's that big of a deal because Nick Sirianni's the offense. I mean, it's his offense.
We'll see. Because Tony just told us they lost their offensive and defensive coordinator. That's especially on that defense. That could be a big hole.
That's a big, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think, it'll show up more on defense if they don't get the right guy to keep the momentum. Now defense might take a step back because that's where a lot of their free agents are.
Well, where do you think the competition's at in the NFC next year? I mean, it was watered down this year, but that's not necessarily saying it's going to be that way next year. I mean, of course, the 49ers should bounce back because they're not really losing anything. But, you got these teams like Philly that just lost most of their coaching staff, Indianapolis, they in the AFC. And then, you got Washington, who Heineke stepped up, and if the coach is smart, they'll make him number one next year. But, I mean, where's the competition at? 'Cause we know it ain't coming from Minnesota.
I mean, it'll be the 49ers probably. I mean, we thought that the Cardinals would be good too. I mean, a lot of us got shook by what the NFC turned out to be.
Look,
Nobody thought the Vikings was going to do
I'm not being fooled by the Cardinals no more.
Me either.
Hey, nobody thought the Vikings was going to do anything either. Playoff bound.
And again, they lose at home.
Hey, we thought the Green Bay Packers was going to be in the playoffs. That was for sure. We was sure they was going to win the NFC North. I don't think anybody said that the Vikings were going to win the NFC North.
Nope.
None of us.
I don't think we did either. I thought it was going to be Detroit or Green Bay.
Green Bay. Yep. Same here.
But so I guess I would. I mean, how it looks like, I would just go with the NFC as it stands right now because there was nobody head over heels killing anybody else. It was kind of a dog eat dog in the NFC last year.
Right.
And there ain't no definitive quarterback since Aaron Rodgers is going down. And
Brady retired.
We got a bunch of new QBs.
Yeah, OJ, what y'all gonna do down there in Tampa? Y'all need to be picking up Derek Carr. That's what y'all need to be doing.
Actually, that's true.
Let's go back to your team, your boys, Tony. We talked about Prescott, but OJ seems to think, and I agree with him because I said to do it 3 years ago, that Dallas should just go ahead and cut Elliott and re-sign Pollard. What you think about that?
Heck yeah. I was on that program too. Yeah. I mean, hey, prime mistake, man. I'm sorry. I thought it was a big mistake for them to give him that large contract anyway to begin with. I was like, oh, shoot, this is where it all turns south. And sure enough, it did. Went from sugar to shit. My
goodness.
And Cliff, you remember her saying stuff like that.
Yeah, I
do. Dude. Man, I'm like, come on. And, I think he cut your losses, man. Cut them. Well, they ain't done anything with Lamar Jackson yet either.
Yes, I guess technically he's a free agent, right?
Technically, he's listed as a free agent. when I did my research earlier. So I'm like,
Some of the talk shows this week talking about they're probably just going to franchise tag him this year and see how healthy he stays and then see what happens after that. But
I'd do that.
it's not an unreasonable thing to do either based on his track record. So,
yeah, that's the knock on him is he's good when he's in, but God, he keeps going down to injuries. So it's like, franchise sounds like a right strategy for him.
well, what's up with Buffalo? They built their team to beat the Chiefs and didn't even get to them. So, I mean, is Josh Allen going to bounce back? I mean, what's going to happen?
They built their team to beat the Chiefs, and they beat the Chiefs. That's all they built their team for. Now you giving them too much credit. They wasn't building their team to go to the Super Bowl. They built their team to beat the Chiefs, and then everything else would just fall into place. That's what they thought. That ain't how life goes.
Well, the first thing I think they need to do is get a legitimate running game. I mean, James Cook looks like he has promise, but they need something now. Because they got the receivers, they got the quarterback, they just don't have the running game. Because if you ain't got a running game, you can't throw the ball anyway.
They're having a problem with Josh Allen because he's such a big gunslinger. It reminds me of Brett Favre. He don't want to check down. He got to throw that helmet. Mahomes is like that. Mahomes had to learn. That's how they got him in that Super Bowl.
Well, the difference between Josh Allen and Brett Favre is Brett Favre is way more accurate than Josh Allen is. So,
a noticeable difference.
Some seem to think that Cincinnati's window of opportunity has closed. That Chase ain't on the case and Burrow's washed up. Not washed up as he ain't gonna that he's not a good quarterback anymore, but that their run is over. That going all in only worked for 1 year. And it's kind of true, right? Because Cincinnati did it and the Rams did it, and neither one of them was in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl this year. So,
most definitely. I think Cincinnati's in it for a long haul. I mean,
anybody even watch that Pro Bowl?
No.
I forgot he was even on.
I ain't gonna lie, I did watch the first quarter.
I was watching college hoops.
I watched the first quarter and it was lame. I don't even know who they had announcing the game.
Hey, you better watch your mouth, Cliff, because Russell Wilson called the commissioner and personally told him that they should do flag football. One of the greatest QBs of all time, Russell Wilson.
If they
it's crazy, but you see they got more participation from the Pro Bowl this year.
That is true.
They go to flag football. I'm not watching.
About getting hit, getting hurt.
Look. You can't take tackling out of football. That's like taking sugar out the Kool-Aid. You can't do that.
Sugar out the Kool-Aid. Oh no, we're gonna have problems.
That's what it's coming to. Y'all better get used to that flag football because it's going to be a women's league, and that's what it's going to be.
Let's start with you, Tony. Who's your top 5 quarterbacks of today's NFL?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Okay, all right. This is hard, man. Because I can give you what I think is 5, but ranking them in order is a little challenging once you get past 1, 2. I'm going to have to throw in Lamar Jackson at 5. 4, gonna be. This is tough. 4 and 3. Well, Jalen Hurts, Russell Wilson, Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes number 1.
Hold the. Oh God!
I knew that was going to cause a shock.
Where the hell do you got Russell Wilson at? You got him above Lamar Jackson? Are you out of your damn mind?
Oh no, I'm not out of my mind. And here, I'll tell you why.
Oh.
I like Lamar. I really do. Talent. Closest thing to Vic we got in the game. But if you can't stay healthy enough to be on the field, man, it's like you just a talent that's sitting on the bench every year. So,
hey,
I love him.
Hey, Russes are not doing well this year, Tony.
Oh my goodness!
It's not a good year for Russ. Anybody tag Russ.
top five only because hey, you can't just throw the man to the wolves now. You can't just do that, right? He's got a nice body of work. He's a good quarterback. I'm hopeful that this year is going to start turning around, start to turn around. I'm not saying this is the turnaround year, but start turning around. And we'll see if we can get him back to the road, to the old Russell Wilson.
Yeah, we're done with you right now. OJ, who is your top five of the NFL right now?
I think Lamar Jackson to be 5. This is tough, man. I mean, 1 and 2, I can say easily. 4, I'm gonna say is Josh Allen because he fell off this year.
He wasn't even Tony's
I
top
think
5.
He's only gonna get worse. I think he's gonna fall off. I mean, gonna keep falling off. 3, I'm gonna put Joe Burrow because he's caught the league on by fire. I mean, he was hurt his first season, and then he comes back and takes his team to the Super Bowl in his second season, and then this year was his third season, and they was a game away from the Super Bowl. So I think he's just gonna keep on coming. Number 2, I'm gonna put Jalen Hurts over Joe Burrow because he got to the Super Bowl, and I just like the work that he's put in. He's gotten better every year, and I think the best is yet to come. But of course, number 1 is Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the gap is so wide between him and the next guy right now. So yeah, he's in that rarefied air with Brady and Montana. So yeah, that's my top 5.
All right, Eric. We about to kick Tony off the show.
Right? Not Russell. Oh my goodness.
We about to kick Tony off the show. Go ahead, Eric.
You know what? I got Josh Allen at 5, Lamar at 4.
Hold up, who did you say at 5?
Josh Allen.
Okay.
And Lamar at 4. 3. Joe Burrow at 3. And I gotta go with the same 2, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, like y'all saying, man, Mahomes is. I mean, no matter who you put it to, bro. I mean, it's the gap. Like, it's crazy how good he is compared to just whoever you put it to. I don't care who you put it to.
Yep.
You know?
All right. Quail, top 5 NFL right now. And don't say no ridiculous junk like Tony is there. I'm going to put your ball on the strap.
Tony should never said that.
However you want to spin it. I mean, I'm not going with people that are retired. People that are currently active in the NFL right now. I mean, if you want to go back to 3-4 years or what they've done, I mean, that's on you. This is your list. I mean, we don't have to like it.
Yeah, only reason I can't I'm taking these fools off the list because these old people need to get off now. They done. It's a wrap. It's the new guys. No, I'm putting obviously Mahomes at number 1. That's easy. Then it's Burrow and Hurts if this gonna be number 2/2, 3. That's who I would put at this point. I didn't want to put Hurts on there because he hasn't done enough, but if we're going off this year, he made it to the Super Bowl. So you got to put him in there, just like I put Stafford in there. But last year, even though I knew this was going to happen, OJ. I told you. But anyways, number 4 would be Lamar Jackson. Looks like everybody got him on the list. And then number 5, who's actually done something this year. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put either Dak. I want to put Dak Prescott, but I'm in a fire of evils here because there's Aaron Rodgers, there's Dak Prescott, and there's what else I got? That quarterback from the Chargers.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah. But he keep folding in the playoffs. I don't know what's going on with that man. He keep folding. He don't stop
to
folding.
be fair, I mean, he might not score no points, but his defense didn't hold water in the second half either.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, never mind. I ain't putting none of the mugs in there. No, I'm putting in there the Prince himself, Jacksonville's quarterback. There we go. Bam. That's my 5.
Really?
Lawrence.
Yo,
Trevor Lawrence.
man.
Yeah.
That's somebody that ain't proved yourself. Come on.
Hey, how? How?
See, y'all was talking about
How did he prove himself? No. Y'all go about how did he prove himself? He was a catch away from beating Mahomes in the playoffs. The dude dropped the ball and fumbled.
That's true.
Am I wrong?
Nope.
He would have won that game.
Oh my
But
goodness.
Mahomes didn't have enough time to come back.
Coulda,
The
shoulda,
dude
woulda.
dropped the ball
He
and
didn't,
fumbled.
though. There ain't no what else. He didn't.
No, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Then that means Stafford's on your top 5 quarterbacks of all time. If there ain't no what if. He
I put
got
Lamar
all
Jackson
the
up there.
yards. He got all the accolades as far as a quarterback goes, and now he got a Super Bowl. So he top 5. You talking about no what ifs? He top 5 on your list, OJ? Or he stuck?
Who are we talking about?
Stafford.
Who are we talking about?
Everybody know who we talking about. Stafford.
What did Stafford was Stafford on my list? No. So what are we talking about?
I'm talking about you just said, hey, he ain't done enough. And I said, and you said we ain't talking about what ifs. Then I said, if we're not talking about what ifs, Stafford's on your top 5.
No,
If
he's
you
not.
if you're just going off a plane, off of his career, what are you talking about? He had the game in his hands. Nobody else can say that as far as any other quarterback that's played Mahomes in the last 5 games. He had
What are you talking about? Joe Burrow barely lost to Patrick Mahomes by a field goal.
Joe Burrow didn't have it in his
How is
hands. They kicked the field goal and it was over. The dude dropped the ball. That ain't his fault. He fumbled it. He didn't even drop the pass. He had the ball in his hands. He had the first
Exactly.
down.
And
And
he
he fumbled
hit his
it.
hand. He should have called it. I don't want to hear
Okay,
it.
then. So how's
He
that the
dropped
quarterback's fault? You're trying to say there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about the no. He had the game in his hands. He would have been probably going to the Super Bowl. But the dude
And
fumbled the ball.
then he would have proved something too. Then he would have got the accolade of proving himself. But he got to do more because he fell short.
You know what? Then you gotta say Jalen Hurts could do more because he ain't beat nobody.
Oh, come on, man.
He ain't beat
He
nobody.
beat everybody. That
Hey, Cliff, am I wrong? Did he beat anybody in the playoffs? Did he beat anybody in the
He can't
playoffs?
help. He can't help because he had to play the Giants.
And that's why I gave him 2 to 3 because he even got there. But he still didn't beat nobody. Let's not get it twisted. The 49ers were down to a running back. And he beat the New York
It
Giants.
doesn't matter. He beat the 49ers. You say he didn't beat nobody. He beat the 49ers. I don't care if they had one hand tied behind their back.
But he didn't win the Super Bowl.
The team that was.
But he didn't win the Super Bowl.
The number one vaunted defense. Whatever.
You got no
They
dog in his
proved
race.
themselves.
He didn't win the Super Bowl. If you want to go down that road, and I gave it to him, but you're not gonna give it to this man who willed his team to the playoffs, who is only one throw away from beating Mahomes. That's who you're not gonna give it to, or you gonna give it to Jalen Hurts, who beat a running back and who beat a whack team in the New York Giants who had no business even being in the playoffs.
I'm gonna give it to Jalen Hurts because, first of all, the second year, in his second year playing, he got them to the playoffs. But of course, he lost to my Bucks.
So did Jacksonville quarterback. After having having one of the worst head coaches in NFL history.
Exactly.
And he got him to the playoffs. Yeah. He got him to the playoffs. He was one throw away from beating a Kansas City Chiefs team who was better than the Philly. Who was better than the Philly team.
Do it again next year.
The Chiefs was better than the Philly.
Prove me wrong. I think he's a 1 year wonder. I think he's gonna regress next year, to be honest.
How's he gonna regress?
So basically you're saying he's a Matthew Stafford. Because he was a 1 year wonder.
No, Matthew Stafford was he spent all these years in Detroit, but he had good numbers the whole way. He just couldn't do anything in the playoffs. So that was a lifetime achievement award, basically, him winning the Super Bowl.
I ain't giving him no credit. Anyway, here go my list. Number 5. I can't leave Aaron Rodgers off this list. He's only got one Super Bowl, but he has 3 MVPs, and he is a good quarterback. Yeah, I'd even go as far as saying he's a great quarterback. He's not the greatest leader in the world. He probably has a huge ego, but he has to be on this list. Mine anyway. I don't even like the dude, but he's a good quarterback. I hate playing him, and I hate when the Bears play him. But anyway. Jalen Hurts, even though he ain't did nothing to me. I mean, 1 year, product of a weak schedule, but we don't make the schedule. Let's see what he does next year. So he's number 4. Lamar Jackson, even though he stays hurt, but he's a great quarterback. When he's on the field, he's a killer. He got ice water in his veins. My number 3 is gonna be Justin Herbert. Because when that dude has the defense behind him and he's on his game, he moves the ball. And he's been in the league 3 years. He ain't no one-hit wonder. He wins games. I'd have to even go as far to say it's bad coaching on he's a product of bad coaching. He really is. Number 2 is a tough one. Damn sure ain't gonna be Josh Allen.
Matthew Stafford.
No, you really tripping. None of y'all said Tom Brady, but he's retired, so I guess he don't even count.
Nope.
I guess I gotta shuffle it up a lot. I'll move Justin Herbert down to number 3, or to number 4, and move Lamar up to number 3. No, I can't do that because he stays hurt too much. I guess I'm gonna have to do what I don't want to do. It'll be Rodgers number 5, Lamar number 4, Herbert number 3, Hurts number 3, Herbert number 2, and of course, as we all have stated, Patrick Mahomes is head and shoulders above the rest. So
what happened to Burrow?
Man, Burrow, he alright, but I don't know. I think his run is over. I hate to say this, but I have to agree with some of these analysts. He showed some falter in these playoffs. I mean, yeah, they beat up on Buffalo, and they got past that wild card. I forgot who they played in the wild card, but he showed some falter to me. So I mean, I guess I would tie him with Jalen Hurts or Lamar at number 4. 2 number 4s for me. So it'd be Hurt and Burrow. Burrow is good, but I just seen some falter in him. So, but we all agree that
OJ joined this channel.
That Patrick Mahomes is number 1 though. So I mean, there's no question about that.
OJ, when Jacksonville make it to the playoffs next year and they number 1 and they blow out these teams, you better come back on this show and apologize. You better apologize to my man.
I mean, everybody got their own opinions. I mean, numbers don't lie. I I could say Burrow ain't that good, or I'm still tripping on this damn Russell Wilson dick though. But hey, but Tony's right though. I mean, he's basically putting Russell Wilson on that list for what he did, not what he's done, not what he did last year. So
Yeah,
That's true. Absolutely. He didn't do crap to get on the list last year.
I like that take on Russell Wilson, but to me, he's like 7. Dak is before Russell Wilson.
wow.
He's like 6.
Wow.
Oh man.
I guess I hate to do it, but I guess I gotta agree with OJ a little bit on this one because at least Dak's team has been in the playoffs the last 2 years. Russell Wilson, his last year in Seattle and with Denver this year, he didn't make the playoffs. So,
I mean, Russell Wilson's best years was with the Legion of Boom. What has he done since then? That's why Sherman always talking crap about
don't y'all dare
Wilson.
disrespect Russ like that. He been cooking.
he ain't been the same. He ain't been the same since Pete Carroll made him throw that ball instead of handing it off. He could have 2 Super Bowls on his resume, but he, instead of audible like the veteran quarterbacks or the good quarterbacks would have did, he did what the coach told him to. Skip that. I'm going for the ring. He just have to be mad. What did Joe Montana say in that article? He said there's plenty of times that I was told to hand the ball off and I threw a touchdown pass. Was the coach mad? Yeah, but guess what? I got the win.
That's all that matters. That's true.
And this is an old school quarterback saying this. Well, I got some bad news for y'all. We have to watch the NBA. Because there ain't no dang real football, OJ.
I just want to say, y'all
Start Saturday, bro.
watch the NBA.
That's gonna start Saturday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be with. Oh, I'm watching the XFL.
Yeah.
I don't even watch the NBA anywhere. I pick up my phone when the ESPN thing goes off so I can see who won what game. I ain't watching until it gets close. I'm not even watching until it gets to the play. I might not even watch until the second round of the playoffs. So OJ, if this other coach doesn't take the Boston to the East to the NBA Finals, that's failure, right? Technically.
Well, technically, yeah. I mean, but you can't expect that guy to do what the other coach did.
Why not? He has the same people. There's no difference in that team than what they had last year.
And he coached underneath Udoka.
Yeah, I understand that. That's why they feel comfortable going forward with him because he's preaching the same things that.
So anything less than an NBA title was a failure then, because he has the same people, right? There's nothing different about the team except the coach.
A more focused coach.
Yeah,
Well, we don't know that.
see.
He might be sleeping with the ball boy. I mean, who knows?
Jesus.
Wow.
Jeez.
I think you went too far on that one.
What'd you say, OJ?
I think you went
Too far on that one. Yeah.
Hey, look, the team's track record. Hey, look, I didn't say it was true. I just said he might be. We don't know what that. We didn't know the other coach was sleeping with the damn athletic trainer and the boss's wife. So,
I got a follow-up question on what you just asked, Cliff. So, what if Boston gets bounced first round? Then what? Oh,
What? He didn't live up to expectations because their expectation is championship rings now. Once you get a taste of it, that's the goal every year.
yeah, but wouldn't that be
Get back to
automatic? Like we screwed up. We let our feelings get in front of the goal of the team. We're supposed to have the best people, best coaches available to us. Let bygones be bygones, and let's see what Udoka can do. I mean, if they get bounced first round or second round, that's what it's going to be. That's going to be the conversation. An outright failure, and it's going to be questions asked. Like, what should they do with the coaching position? I don't know.
Well,
That's what
I
I
think
think.
they're holding on to Udoka just to the offseason. You know, they're going to use him as bait. Whoever gets his rights, they got to give him draft picks. That's compensation. I think that's why they. haven't cut ties with him.
I personally think the penalty was too harsh. I think they should just suspended it for half the year and let him come back. I mean, because like we discussed in previous shows, this junk is probably going on in other organizations. They just didn't get caught or make it public. Because, it's all going to depend on what Jerry Jones gets off his butt and does. If he tries to run with the same squad he got and not do nothing, then of course they're going to fail. But if he actually makes some moves, getting another target for Dak Prescott and maybe another piece on defense, maybe they can do something. They'll
probably draft well. They draft pretty decent. Well,
it's a proven year for the Eagles. To show that everybody that last year wasn't on the fluke. Everybody keeps talking about their schedule. They played the games that were on their schedule. Well, this year they're gonna play against all the tough teams because they made it to the Super Bowl, and I think they're gonna do just fine.
All right, we're gonna wrap this show up where OJ lost the Super Bowl. Yeah,
I'm gonna give you your time.
That's a good title. That's a good title, bro.
3 years running, it was time for your stuff to be over.
That's a good title.
Yeah, it was only over by a technicality. But,
technicality.
Technicality is
not a technicality.
One team scored more than the other.
So basically, you're saying the ref should have kept that flag in his pocket.
If he did, y'all would have lost the game because the
we don't know that. How do we know that? Because
win the game.
Because how do we?
Last man was going to be Jalen Hurts.
How do we know that?
So
how do you know Kansas City's defense wasn't going to step up?
Because y'all couldn't stop the man the whole game.
Hey, it don't matter. All it takes is one time, and y'all did go 3 and out the previous drive. That's why Kansas City had the ball to begin with. Right or wrong?
3 and out too.
We didn't go 3 and out when we got down to that 2-yard line, now did we?
Oh my goodness!
That was a drive. That wasn't the punt return. Y'all went 3. Y'all went 3 and out, and that's how Kansas City got the ball, and Mahomes took them down the field.
The ball to you, and that man ran like 50-some yards.
No, that wasn't that wasn't the same drive. OJ, he scored a touchdown. They scored a touchdown on that drive. The very last drive that I'm talking about, y'all went 3 and out. Patrick Mahomes got the ball on their 25, drove them all the way down there. That's when
and they stopped them. But Bradbury held them. That's what kept that drive alive.
If and bust, it doesn't matter. It's part of the game, right? It's part of the game, right? Right, exactly. Just like when Kansas City jumped off sides and Brady threw the pick got wiped away because the ref threw the flag. Part of the game.
We got you,
man. If the ref would have swallowed his whistle,
and if the ref had swallowed his whistle against Brady, Mahomes would have 3 Super Bowl rings. And if Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes would have had a Super Bowl ring as a rookie. What?
I said my streak would have still been intact.
Mm-hmm. And Patrick Mahomes would have 3 rings right now if the ref had swallowed his whistle on all sides. And we'd be having a different conversation about who's the GOAT.
What offsides are we talking about? Are you talking about when he was playing against Brady?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Brady's gonna get that call.
It does. Exactly. Okay. Now, to your point, Mahomes just got that call, right?
Basically.
The bottom line is the Eagles got grounded, as Tony said in the chat.
They did.
We gonna see what they do next year. They did. Are they gonna make a run a second year in a row like Cincinnati did, or are they gonna be a big bust like the Rams was after they went to the Super Bowl? So we gonna see. All right, Quell.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You letting OJ gang up on us. You didn't help. I'm mad at you now.
What about what?
The Super Bowl. Talking about the rest of the swallowed. He trying to say that.
Win that.
Trying to say we went 3 and out.
Hey, it's all about the win.
Yeah, I think that one.
Look at the scoreboard. Talking about Tampa Bay when Mahomes' whole line was destroyed. All you said was all about the win. You said that years ago. All about the
I
win.
did.
Same thing you said about Stafford too. Stafford got lucky. He sucked. He won the Super Bowl though. Your guy over there at Detroit ain't win no Super Bowl. When it came to him, he lost. He got to the Super
It
Bowl
was a
and
team
lost.
around him. It was a team around him. I mean, he had Megatron.
He made it
and
all
then
the
he-
way to the Super Bowl. There ain't no excuses. Get the job done.
And if Rodgers doesn't be a buster and just runs the touchdown, and we're having a different conversation anyway because Green Bay goes to the Super Bowl, not Tampa.
We never will know, now will we?
Nope. won't.
It's all about the win, right?
Rodgers had three attempts to win that game. That's why the coach just said, "No, we kicking the field goal," because he gave his quarterback 3 chances to get that touchdown, and he failed all 3 times.
He failed all 3 times, and guess what? They still gave him the money.
Mama always said, "Stupid is what stupid is."
Oh boy. For Sports Talk Coast to Coast, for me and the boys. Thanks for joining us.